Welcome home, Bitcoin Truth Seekers. It is Tuesday, January 17th, 2023. It's 2:42 p.m. here in the Arizona desert. Well, today's kind of sideways. Let's check it out. All right, BitcoinDailyView.com has always got more for you there. Feel free to buy me a coffee if you want, stuff like that. All right, great. I put links to indicators that I use and things I endorse and all that kind of stuff, my affiliate links. So check out BitcoinDailyView.com. It's one of the coolest places on the web. All right, looking at FinViz. In general, today kind of opened with a little bit of a down and then closed a little bit of a down. So the Dow is it closed 1.14% down. NASDAQ actually managed to close 0.14 up, I do believe, right? Yep. In the green, S&P 500, zero point 0.2 down. So anyway, not really happening day in the market, but on a good note, it didn't dump and it didn't pump either. Dollar strength index didn't do a whole lot today, and I think that might be why we see some of this. So we'll look at that real quick before we're done on the way through. The big winner of the day, don't know why, was Tesla up 7.43%. I'll take it. That's kind of cool. Apple held in the green at just 0.8, and Microsoft at about 0.5. It held in the green. So in general, not a super happening day in the on the big indexes, but for Bitcoin and crypto, it was kind of all right day actually. Looking at the crypto universe in squares, as we can see here at Coin 360, in general, overall, bit of a mix, kind of a green, maybe this is barely a green day overall in the market. Looking at uh, the volume for Bitcoin explicitly last 24 hours, 10.1 billion. That's pretty darn good. So I'll take it. 10.1 billion in volume. That's nice for Bitcoin trading volume. Looking at the big exchanges here, most of the day was in the red, as in volume was for spot trading pairs was in general kind of creeping down all day. Never really happened. Only a few exchanges ever flipped green. So definitely kind of a low volume day. You can see the volume 7-day graph here. You can see most of them have a little bit of a dip at the end. So anyway, just never really got the volume going today for spot trading pairs. But on a good note, it was down 17% last 24 hours, but for derivatives, 41 billion, so 41.5 billion if we round it up. Actually, that's really awesome. We haven't been anywhere near that recently, so that's pretty darn good. If you could hit 50 billion, you're definitely having a good day. So definitely some leverage longs and shorts are happening out there. Looking at the big markets in the middle here, we have the DXY, and as you can see in the middle top, DXY didn't do a whole lot today. I think that's why the market didn't do a whole lot. That's just my little take on it there. Oil, U.S. oil spot, definitely up today, moving up above that 50 moving average on the daily. Nice green candle, looks good to me. S&P 500, just barely in the red, not too much of a happening day. Looking at Bitcoin, of course, overall on the daily, at least it did close a green candle. It's been moving up. Nice thing is on the daily chart, we're above the 200 moving average, and that's really, really awesome. And I like seeing that. Looking at gold yesterday and today, pretty much red candles. And today for silver, a red candle, but both are staying above all important moving averages on the daily. So I like seeing that. Looking at Bitcoin explicitly here. Bitcoin on the daily chart, looking at some fun indicators. Everybody knows his favorite one from Capital Investments, the dots. I forget what you actually call this indicator. Hash ribbons. Yeah, the hash ribbon indicator. I think it's kind of a toy, to be honest with you. I'm not going to put a whole lot of stake in it, but it does make quite the waves when it does actually flip green. Like here on a 3-day chart, you can see, boom, we had a bit of an up there, a bit of an up there, but eventually an up here, had a big up here, big up there. But then again, back in when it flashed around middle of August 2022, as you can see, we did not quite, it wasn't quite too spiffy there. But it's flipped once again. On a good note, I would say the one thing is before when it's flipped, oh no. Anyway, let's see what happens. We're at least above the 50 moving average when it flipped. We'll see if it continues. We do have a positive MACD on the 3-day and the 1-day, and I do believe a positive MACD on the weekly also. So we really have a lot of beautiful indicators there. The MACD, I always find, especially the daily, the 3-day, and the weekly, is always a big deal for Bitcoin. So A lot of positive energy on what's going on. Although, if we look here, I mean, we're above the 50 moving average. That's nice. We found it rejected us a little while ago on like on November 3rd or so. Broke above it, looking good. Daily chart, like what I'm seeing. But do note, I mean, the stochastic RSI, the RSI basically, it's pretty pumped here on the 3-day. And if we look on the daily, it's pretty pumped too. So it doesn't mean, as you can see, I mean, that's just pegged, you know. So be careful. And we're going to look at this a little bit of a different way also. So here on a daily chart, as you can see, above the 50, above the 200. That's really, really wonderful. I like what I'm seeing. But that stochastic is just friggin' losing its mind. Nice buy blue dot on the hash ribbons. Many people think that's extremely noteworthy. I'm not sure if it is, but you know, whatever. Especially when it happens on the weekly, people have a lot of confidence in it. And if you look back here, in general, when it's fired off, like back April 2020, um, you know, July 2020, wasn't it was right, it's kind of right then, definitely December 2020, um August 2021. It definitely has had some meaning. So and let's see what happens. It actually didn't fire up a weekly, did it, back in the day for that last one that missed? Well, anyway, let's see what happens. I'd love to get above the 200 moving average on the weekly chart. That'd be something really, really groovy. But the stochastic RSI is looking really, really nice in that weekly. I think we could keep going. So really, this is the thing. What's Bitcoin going to do? It's quite hard to tell. It's moved quite a lot recently. We're going to have to just keep an eye on it. This is Trade Genius, tradegenius.io, or tradegenius.com. I'll get you there also. I'm looking at this because they have some custom indicators that are quite neat. This is the cash flow indicator here. This, yeah, it's kind of mustardy colored line. And in this one here, we see kind of in the middle, that's coming up here. That's the heat indicator. They have some cool custom indicators. This is a daily chart. You rarely see the heat indicator actually start to make a red, go red like that. It's kind of rare. I can go back here like for a 3-day chart. Do you even see it? Not really. Now we see it back here. Now the heat indicator can just show, you know, extreme upwards momentum, like we had back in December of 2020, and you can see that's cool. Sometimes I can just show a nice, powerful, continuation. But you can kind of see here, one of the things I like about the heat indicator is actually it's very good for divergence. So here you can kind of see, think of it, kind of look at it as if it's sort of an RSI. It's not exactly. As you can see, you definitely had a bearish divergence here. And you can see we definitely were maxed out, a lot of heat. So think of it kind of like an RSI, but they have it it's not RSI. They have it very, very uniquely tuned. It's a proprietary indicator. You got to buy it. But basically, if we look at this thing, we're very, very maxed out. And if we look here on the daily chart, we're seeing some heat there. So that it denotes definitely, one of the nice things I do see about this indicator, like I say, it's a custom one. So say it's not free, you gotta buy it. But one thing is I'm not really seeing, bearish divergence yet, or really any. It's just maxed out, So in the past, it definitely has shown some nice, when it came into play, it definitely showed us that a bearish divergence, and so we're not quite seeing it yet. We're still really maxed out. So anyway, I'll keep an eye on this. Like I say, it's Trade Genius. They're cool. I definitely like blockchain education. Links for them over at bitcoindaily.com. If you're strictly a crypto person, check them out. If you're crypto and you like traditional markets, also you want to trade with some real pros, check out Trade Genius. So Trade Genius, if you like both. If you're just strictly crypto, blockchain education might be better for you. Anyway, this is pretty groovy. So like I say, but looking at the RSI here, this is stochastic RSI here. I put below it on the daily. We're not seeing like divergence on this on the RSI yet, just because it's still just so maxed out. So we'll keep an eye on it. I'm gonna keep. This is the thing. It just gets really hard to tell what's going to happen when you're this pumped out. So let's go back to some indicators you might be a little bit more used to. Okay, there we go. This was this one here. Okay, this is here. There's a 45-minute chart. Let's do kind of a 2-hour chart first. Yeah, and this light gray you might see, that's the ATR ribbons or ATR zone. So think of the ATR would usually be this. This just shows the top and bottom of the range. It doesn't show like the ATR ribbons, which you usually see. This is just the zone. It's a little different. I found it easier to use. So if you look at the ATR, cave you might call it. I'm sorry, no, Keltner bands, the bands you would see at the top and the bottom. This is the ATR range, so ATR top and bottom. If you're not familiar with it, go over to it's just go into TradingView and just search for indicators. Just go ATR or look over at bitcoindailyview.com. If I don't have it there, I'll put this indicator there in the next day or so. But look into our chart. You can see the here's the thing: the squeeze indicator, very popular, one of the most popular indicators on TradingView, is showing we're in the squeeze. So we've definitely pumped, starting to slow down. We're squeezing. Avoid buying or selling in the squeeze. That's when like a move is usually getting ready to happen. If you want to know more about the squeeze indicator, check out bitcoindailyview.com. You can click on that link that for the indicator, and that gets into what a squeeze is. But a squeeze is when something is about to happen. Okay, so right now, well, we stopped squeezing. Maybe we'll see what happens. Directional index here on the 2-hour chart is nice. ADX is moving up. What's going to happen? This is a tough one. I hear endless conjecture and people looking at traditional market stuff, and there's a lot to be said for traditional market could definitely be, come into play here. And, is it really about Fed liquidity, etc.? I mean, maybe not. When you pump like this is when I always say, this is when you got to have a hobby. Just hop back and chill, if you're in Bitcoin, you're in the green, well, put a stop in, say you stay there, put a trailing take profit or something, it's really hard to know what's going to happen. But here on a 4-hour chart, you can see the squeeze is starting to slow down. And I would say one of the places to really look for, I think the 4-hour chart is a very powerful chart for Bitcoin, and the directional index here, which is the green candles, that is showing bearish divergence on the 4-hour chart. It's a very good spot to look for it. Directional index definitely is very powerful in that way. I find it to be darn accurate. As you can see, it was positive, here. I mean, so here's you got, the all was kind of in concordance. Everything was moving up. And now you start seeing where we've got this slight, we had a slight uptrend here, right there. I kind of do like this. They do a parallel channel. Boom, boom, like this. Okay. Get this parallel channel going up, looking good. And right when it started, this is when the directional index kind of maxed out, and we're cruising down. Okay. One of the best, especially in the time frames you're usually looking at, like hourly, 45 minute, hourly, 4-hour, 2-hour. The ADX, this length, 14 and 25. Try those. It'll take you far if you want to tune it. But anyway, I would say this is I find this is a great thing for a bullish divergence, and we could actually go to indicators. Let's go to stochastic RSI. Yep. Go to stochastic RSI. Let's put that in there. What do we see here on the 4-hour chart? It could be sad. Yeah, I think definitely you could see here for Bitcoin. That's definitely, hey, come back here. Give me that. That's definitely that's bearish diversion AF. I mean, that's pretty damn rough. Say in the 4-hour chart, which I think has a lot of power when it comes to looking at Bitcoin, that's pretty darn bearish divergence, and the squeeze indicator is beginning to chill out. And there you go. There's so many ways you can look at this, so many different time frames. I'm just kind of giving you my usual stuff that I look at. I could go look at, you could do all kinds of things. You could sort of go in here. Something I saw recently that I haven't looked at for a while is this. VP, the VRVP. You can search for that on TradingView. It shows you the volume, and one of the things that's kind of cool about it is it's volume for each price area. Let's go here and let's actually fire this thing up, and something you can do is just make it a little bit more granular. Put some more, give it some more energons there, and you can see here that I'm just looking, basically, let's just kind of look at, let's pull some data in. You can see it adjust because it's working with your visual range, So if you pull some time in here, you can see there's an extraordinary amount of time that it has there's a lot of price action right down here at like 16,000, 17,000. That's where you've got more volume for that price. It's volume to price so visual range. What you're seeing here, the volume for each of those price levels. So you got a lot of energy here at like 17,002, 17,004. I got a little burst of energy here at like 18,800, but huge, beautiful volume spike right around 17,000 even, or 16,900. So something to think about. We're going to see what happens. You could actually, I believe, even though fibs do change, of course, if this just by chance happens to be our top, if I wanted to, let's be crafty. Let's put a fib in. Let's go way down here. This is kind of when the uptrend started, I would say. Let's go there. And how do we look there at the fib level? I kind of like we see a little volume burst. It doesn't quite line up perfectly. But actually, let me do this. I'm gonna, can I make that work? I think we're good. You can see the 618 golden pocket came into play. That 5 came into play. Looking at this, and so you definitely in the 618 you got a volume spike near there. That 5, yeah, kind of a volume spike near there. So this is just possibilities of where we might see a if it starts running down, just possibilities, price actions to look at. The 236 is 20,400. The 382 is 19,624. .5 is 18,997. 618 golden pocket starts at 18,370 and goes to 18,200. Of course, 786, where the 4-hour 200 moving average is 17,477. We definitely have some nice volume down around there. And the most volume we had, buy sell volume was right around 16,000. Say 16,800, 17,000, 16,000, somewhere in there. So anyways, we'll see what happens. We are pumped out, but definitely something that I'm noticing, and I think it has a good value, is the directional index is showing bearish divergence. Stochastic RSI, bearish divergence. Squeeze indicator starting to roll over on the 4-hour. We could just start pumping like crazy, but there you go. That's what I'm seeing. I just don't know what's going to happen yet. I really think that copy the link to chart image. I'm going to put this just for fun if people are if this is in a live chat. So there's a link to that chart if you want to see those price actions, or just screenshot it if you want to see. Keep it for reference. Anyway, there's some ideas of possible bounce spots if we start moving down. Let's look at Bitcoin. Price action right now is 21,321. I like that. In general, has not been as green of a day in the market as I would expect here for the top 100, but got some people that are making it happen. Casper Network, whatever that is, I have no idea, has been strong all day. The CSPR. Gala did quite well today. Theta up 6%. I like seeing that. Synthetics, SNX, whatever that is, at 6.9% up. I like seeing that. Polkadot up almost 3.5%. So people are buying those shit coins. And anyway, Monero, nice to see, up 2.9%. So some coins definitely showed up for work today, have no doubt. But it wasn't as green. Well, Bitcoin didn't move that much. So no, this is about right. It's nice to see a positive day in the market. Bitcoin's price action was not super mega today, but we are riding 21,321. And looking at the 4-hour chart here, we definitely got some crazy bearish diversions. So, well, there you go. That's what we're seeing. Okay, I don't want to belabor it too much. I guess the whole moral of the story is we're pumped. We're stretched. Is it going to make another move up? It might, or it might just dump. To maybe one of those fib levels, I would imagine. But the thing is, we just don't know until it happens. Definitely. I mean, looking at this bearish divergence on the 4-hour, let's look at an hourly. Let's look at the 2-hour. How's the 2-hour look? Yeah, 2-hour. It's not quite as epic on the 2-hour for the stochastic RSI, but it's still there. Look at the hourly chart. Pull that in a little bit more. Yeah, hourly. Even though it's not as drastic, it's still the RSI is not quite as does not quite have that hardcore divergence. but it is there. A directional index to me actually has oftentimes shown me more accurate bearish divergence, the directional index, than the stochastic RSI, or it's a little bit quicker to figure it out. So and this in the if you want to get that indicator, I do believe the ADX, right? Yeah, it's here. Just look for over at bitcoindailywview.com. Just look for ADX and DI histogram. Check that out. It will not steer you wrong. Okay, so looking at longs versus shorts on Binance, where the badass volume is, longs 42%, shorts 57%, definitely a short bias for Bitcoin, and it makes sense on Binance. For Ethereum, 46% long, 53% short, so definitely a short bias for both those. Looking at that divergence, boom, we're so pumped. Like I'm saying, it's kind of hard to know what's going to happen. We could just keep on going. Some people do know this. If I clean up my act here, let's turn this goofy thing off. I have certainly heard from plenty of people in the know. Let's clean this up a little bit. Let me turn this off too. Sorry to keep you here so long. I'll be on in just a moment. I am not the biggest pattern person in the world. I understand that they're very, very powerful. I get it. In fact, I even forget where that one little thing is that makes drawing squares and stuff easier. Where is it at? Rectangle, triangle. I think you can kind of go like, is it like this? Something like that. Yeah. Some people are kind of seeing this. And since you do have, and they'll call it like a bear, like a bull pennant. And I always remember those just because basically it's all about your pole. So if you got that nice flagpole going up, then you make this pennant. People say there tends to be a notion, or whatever the percentage is. You could look up bear pennant and see if you think it is one. But if you do, you can look it up and you can see what the percent. I think the percentage is on the high side that it breaks up. So we'll see. If I'm totally wrong, just flame me in the comments and let me know, because it's kind of obvious that it's there, but I'm not really the biggest pattern trader. So let's keep rocking. Today, what I'm seeing all over the place is this. Is Altcoin. It's a little bit hard to trade today. I'm finding it because as far as opening new positions, is like CTX BTC. Okay, CTX against BTC. You have this beautiful upwards channel. We got higher highs. I would just go higher high, higher high, higher high. It's not really perfect, but the thing is, but you have like higher highs. That's kind of easy to see. But then we blew it. And a lot of alts really have done this recently with just because of the way just volatility has been. They've kind of blown it like that. But it's back in the channel. It's back above the 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart, and it's moving up. Directional squeeze looks good. Directional index looks good, but the directional index is kind of waning a little bit, and the ADX is on the way down. So I just don't know. I'm not particularly feeling confident in this one. Maybe if I had caught it right on the 200 moving average break, maybe then I would have bought in. But right now, just don't know which way it's going to go. And I'm seeing this kind of flaccid price action right now in a lot of alts. They need some time to recover. So we'll see. I'm kind of watching a good number of alts just like this. If this guy kind of continues up and then comes back down, that's just great. Or if it kind of goes down now and goes up, I just need it to do something other than what it's doing before I feel confident, getting in. So CTX BTC. PHB BTC. Once again, beautiful uptrend. I'm kind of a little bit creative with this channel. A beautiful uptrend, broke out of it. But it bounced the 200 moving average, and in general, the indicators are looking kind of good. A lot of upwards momentum, like what I'm seeing. But it needs to get back in that channel before I'm, confident. So one of the things I'm kind of watching for right now is some alts that have done well is to get back in that channel, retrace, find support, keep moving up, have strong indicators. Boom. That could definitely be a phenomenal thing to get into. So Red Pulse Phoenix, this thing can get crazy. I like it. I've always liked the name of it, So Phantom, FTM, BTC, this is looking good. Once again, I kind of like this. You've got the price action is kind of sideways. Directional, I'm sorry, the squeeze indicator is moving down. Directional index is moving down, but that's fine. I wouldn't call that bearish divergence. It just matches price action. I like that. Kind of watching FTM versus BTC come back down to the 200. Not 200. I'm sorry. The bottom of the channel and move back up. The thing like about this, one of the things that I've been watching for recently is we can look at a 45-minute chart, but we don't really need to. Do we want to look at a 45-minute chart? Yes, let's look at it. Yeah, it's just basically showing you a more granular version of the same thing, but it's the daily. So check this out. Something that I'm watching for, also that interests me personally. Ah, crap. Let me get rid of this stuff. Is this. You've got, this is looking good in the daily. We're above the 200 moving average, and we have been for a while. So we're above the 200 moving average on the daily and all other, shorter time frames. That's nice. We burst above the 314 moving average in the daily. That's where we're finding a little bit of a hang up. So you kind of need to break above that. But it's not unlikely to. It's not unusual to find resistance right there on 314 on the daily. Let's look at the 3-day chart. 3-day chart is not above the 200 moving average, but the daily is good enough. 3-day chart's challenging the 314 in this case, and as you can see, find a little bit of a hardship getting it over it. But in general, the indicators are looking rather good, So that's the thing. It's all about finding coins that are strong on the daily also, and then kind of watching them on the 4-hour chart. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. And there's coins making money. This is against BTC. So I like that. Beautiful uptrend, looking good. This is definitely one that I'm watching. I'm just not sure which way it's going to go right now. I'm kind of, unless I see something really strong happening on an alt, I'm really not getting in on even on something like this, which almost usually I would think this might be something that would continue strongly against Bitcoin. I just have this bad feeling that we're with that bullish divergence, bearish divergence, I have a bad feeling that we're going to, probably break down a bit, find support. And then when that happens, this is going like that, like bouncing off that 200 moving average if we're lucky. So what do you do? It's a hard day. It's a, you know what I mean? Anyway, guys, I don't want to belabor this. I don't want to go on too long. It's just one of those things. There you go. It's a tough time. It's a tough time to trade. You gotta work hard to find good things against BTC. I could quickly look at my look at a different this list that I have here. I call this one the Cayenne list. This is all on these are all on KuCoin, and most of these are against USDT. Okay. Oh, look at that. This is wonderful. So SNX. Which we noted earlier was on the top 100, looking good. SNX, look at that. I gotta be a little bit creative with the channel, but beautiful upwards channel. Adjust that. Go on there. Yeah, look at that, looking strong. A little high right now. It's going to retrace. It's getting ready to retrace. But SNX versus USDT on the 4-hour chart, it's maxed out right now. Let it come down. That's definitely one to watch. Woo! Looking good. USDT trades might be the place to be right now. I'm liking this. Clay versus USDT. Show them to a channel like this. Looking good. Kind of the bottom of that channel. Starting to perk up again. Directional index is too low. And this one needs a little bit more time to mature for me. I'm not quite hip on that one yet. Q versus BTC, it's out of the running. Pure trash. Kava versus USDT. Whoa, yeah. Look at that. Okay, so, all right. I'm going to go for it. It's kind of hard to make this channel. I'm going to go for it like this. Yeah, let's do like that. I like what I'm seeing. And that's legit. Let me clean up this. Turn this off for a sec. Yeah, that's good. It's a good channel. Let's make sure. Okay, so above the 200. Above the 314, looking good. These indicators are looking wonderful. That I don't see any reason why that would not continue on the 4-hour chart. Kava versus USDT. Looking at a 45-minute chart for very, very immediate price action. That beautiful uptrend. Above the 200 moving average, looking good. I'm keep this one on my watch list. I can see what Bitcoin's going to do first, but this might be a it's cooling off right now. It's beautiful sawtooth pattern. Wait for that ADX to tilt back up, and the directional next to start getting in, showing me some growing columns there. Wait for the squeeze indicator to turn back up. Not quite ready, but gosh, Kava versus Tether looking wonderful. ETC versus USDT. Yeah, once again, yeah, Mana. Woo! Mana's insane. Man looks. I wouldn't get involved in that one right now. Ape versus USDT. Nope. Ren versus USDT. Could be. If you're, I wouldn't. I'm not gonna. Well, I'll look at that one again tomorrow. I'm not quite ready. I think someone might be making a turn up. So Ren versus USDT. Chart it the way you chart it. See what you think. Lunc versus USDT. It's in the squeeze right now. Lunc versus USDT. 45-minute chart looking pretty hot. Looking kind of good. Rather extended. 4-hour chart. It's cooling off. Yeah, nothing. Not much is it that. Not really exciting me. I think SNX versus USDT after retrace will look good. Clay versus USDT. That I'm gonna wait for the ADX to turn up and directional index to start being a little bit more positive. But that could be a continuation here on the 4-hour chart. I could bounce off the bottom of this channel and keep going. ENQ. Nope. Kava. Yeah, Kava's pretty sweet. Kava versus USDT looking good. I'm going to ignore it right now though until BTC does something. Etsy versus USDT. Like if I'm going to gamble right now with my USDT, I'm just going to put it in. I got it. I got it kind of most of that in Bitcoin with. I'm just following it up with a stop, so I don't lose. But gosh, ETC USDT. When BTC figures its price action out, I'm not going to start. I'm going to do it right here. I'm going to call that a channel. Yeah, why not? That's kind of looking sweet. I like that. Definitely, this could be. It needs to get to the bottom of this channel and bounce. You could even call this a channel if you wanted here on the 4-hour. You could even kind of go. If I can get a hold of it, could you really? No. Anyway, let's see what this. Let's see what this guy does. Let's give it some time. Anyway, difficult market in my opinion right now to find good strong alts. With that said, here's the news. If you're interested, this is where you can drop off. If you don't want to hear the news part, this is a very, very short. Matt Bracken, very, 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 very cool character. Great geopolitical analyst. He mentions this YouTube by. He just says. Prepare for the first planned global depopulation famine brought to us by the same demons who brought us open borders, C19. And I don't want to say all that stuff on the channel, but right there. If you want, he recommended this, and actually, David Debine's a friend of mine, known him forever. It's been on my little other podcast, Reddit Creators, many times. He does great. It's Grand Slow Minimum. Analysis and how that affects growing patterns and things like that. And trust me, there's people with he knows what he's doing, and there's people up high. There's people who know he knows what he's doing, who get that info from him. I won't give away his secrets, but like Matthew Bracken said, please watch the David Devine video I posted. Then watch the Forgotten Masterpiece, The Last Valley. It was written for film by James Clavell and stars Michael Caine and Omar Sharif. It is set in Austria during the 30 Years' War. It's basically update from this time and think black powder and Kalashnikovs to see what may be coming our way. Note the presence of Michael Yon's Triangle of Death. Well, anyway, won't get into that part. Like I say, it's broken into 15-minute segments. At least watch the first two. I saw this years ago. I'm kind of watching it again. If David Debine's right, this might be our our future. So I'll put that in the live chat too. There you go. Boom. And actually, I will try to see. Can I link? Can I share that? Can I share this? Yes. I will put that there in the live chat too, and I'll put this in the live chat. If you want some fun prepper doom, this is cool stuff to watch. I think you'll really enjoy it. Anyway, guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a Bitcoin truth seeker. Thanks for being optimistic. I do think that Bitcoin Satoshis are probably the most affirmative and most powerful bet and statement you can make towards the optimistic future for humanity. Remember, for every Bitcoin Satoshi you own, it makes a piece of shit globalist cry. And right now they're all on Davos having a good time. So let's hope that that one little Bitcoin Satoshi you make today, gives them all a hemorrhoid. Boom, So take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.